Hey, nerd.
High energy. This episode, we're talking about going to conventions.
Yeah, going to conventions.
Why? Why are we talking about going to conventions?
Because we're going to go to conventions.
Oh, Team Triplehorn at local conventions.
And it's very unconventional that we're going to go to a convention.
I see what you did there.
I bought a convention oven. It's convection.
It's confection oven, right?
I thought it was convection.
Yeah.
Confection is like the...
Confection is confectionery, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
we're cutting all this.
No, I'm not cutting any of this. This is high octane speed energy. We didn't say any bad words.
We're always trying to teach people.
Corpus Christi Comic Con is coming up in July. And we're
End
going
of
to...
July.
Yeah, we're going to try and secure our table today.
So I did Comic Palooza. I did a few other ones. With
Is that all here in Corpus?
That's
or?
in Houston.
Okay.
And then we went to
Just
one
like big,
in...
big?
It was huge. That was the one where I met Mike Mignola.
Who's that?
I don't know if y'all want to hear that.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your
let's do
con
it. Let's
story.
go.
Okay.
I think we've skipped it like 4 or 5 episodes.
So I met 2 famous people there.
Okay.
One of them I went out of my way to try to meet was Mike Mignola, is the creator of Hellboy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The second dude,
Little lesser known, he's like a karate practitioner.
what?
I just thought it'd be funny
Okay.
because everybody knows him for Hellboy.
Right. But he was actually best friends with
Well,
Yu-Gi-Oh
what did that happen?
creator.
I'm not editing that out.
You know what I'm talking about?
Say it again.
He was best friends with the Yu-Gi-Oh creator.
Oh,
Really?
Kazuki Takahashi.
Yeah.
Oh snap.
They did
too.
like crossover artwork.
Oh yeah, rest in peace, King.
Yeah, he's gone. Poor guy. So anyways, so I met 2 people. One of them Mike Mignola. The other one, I always say that I met Kevin Nash's balls and not Kevin Nash's
Yeah.
head.
Well, I think you told that story though.
You have to. No, I never got to tell it.
I've never
No,
heard
I
that.
think you
cut
told it
off
on the
before.
show.
I've never heard this
I
story.
didn't.
Oh okay.
But anyway, so Mike Mignola, we go up. It's me and a buddy. His name is Leo. We're waiting in line. Kind of a small line, but I had all my Hellboy stuff with me.
What year was this?
Probably.
Was the movie out by
We
then,
had just
or?
done. We had just done the nerd shirts, and the guys wore them up to
So
the
like
convention.
2013, 2014-ish.
hmm
So that was probably after Hellboy
So they were
2.
all wearing nerd shirts with me.
Okay.
And they were representing nerds, dude. But so we walk up. It's our turn in line, and I had just been witnessing what was going on. There was these 2 girls. They were, very, very. What's the word? What's the term?
Hot?
Annoying.
Yes. Okay. So hot, or yeah. They had like low cut shirts and stuff like that, and he was giving them a lot of attention, and he does sketches for them and stuff like that. And I'm thinking,
He's trying to hit that.
this is I'm still fresh to
He's trying to Hellboy tap.
the idea of convention, so I don't know what the rules are, what's going down, right?
Yeah.
And so I go up, and I had the idea that I was going to get a tattoo done of Lobster Johnson, which is my favorite Mike Mignola character. All I needed him to do was do the sketch, just something real quick, like literally like on the back of one of our cards is what I had handed him. And he goes, "Oh no, I don't do sketches. I'm not allowed to do sketches." And I was like, and I literally told him, I was like, "But I just saw you do it for them." And he goes, "Well, I'm not allowed to do it." And like, I guess his handler or whoever was with him was like, "If you're not purchasing anything, you need to move along." And so my buddy Leo puts the Hellboy stuff that I had, because I'd handed it to him so I could explain, and he puts it on the table, and he's like, "Yeah, he has all this stuff to sign."
Yeah.
So we put the stuff on the table, right? And he was doing like all of these other signatures. He puts MM, and I was like, "Oh." I'm like literally watching what was going on the first 2, and like I'm just getting. He's like, "Well, this is what I'm doing right now," and like the lady handler was like, "He's on his way to lunch, and that's why he's doing this quickly." And I was like, "Hey, well, you know what? I'll tell you what. Hold on real quick." I grabbed the books up, I walked to the trash can, and I threw them in, and I am kind of ashamed to say it, but I went back to the hotel afterwards and cried my eyes out.
Gosh.
I cried my eyes out because it was like, here's my hero, here's the reason why I want to do anything with comic books going forward, and he's literally like...
The worst.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You should have thought practically.
Mm-hmm.
So why didn't you just show some cleavage?
Yeah, dude. Show some skin, Marty.
Why didn't you?
Yes, right.
That would have worked.
It was sad though, dude. Like it literally, I was like, you know, if I'm not a hot chick, you know, he's not gonna put his best out. Like he literally did them sketches, and then he's telling me that he can't do them. Like he legally can't do them.
Yeah.
So what about Kevin Nash though?
Oh.
Wait. Well, because that's kind of separate. Let me tell this.
Okay.
Kevin Sorbo.
Oh yeah.
When we met, it's the same story.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same story.
Yeah.
We met Kevin Sorbo, Hercules, if anyone wasn't in the know.
Right.
Hercules from the Hercules Adventures of Hercules. What the hell was that show called?
Yeah, that's it.
I think he's from Xena Warrior Princess.
He also did Xena Warrior Princess.
Well, he also is from Andromeda, which he kept reminding us.
And Stargate.
Yeah. I don't remember from Stargate, but
Yeah.
when we went to meet him, I'm
and Walking Tall Part 2. Sorry.
Yeah. Also
Part
from
2.
Psych.
Yeah.
He was also in Psych in one episode. He was the bounty hunter.
This must have been before he went all super right wing.
Yeah, it was before. But we go up to him, and I'm already kind of ambivalent about going up to his table. I don't care I like Kevin Sorbo from Hercules. I loved Hercules. And I had a pack of cards. Remember how we used to get them, the little packs of Hercules cards?
Yeah, I remember.
And so I didn't want to say where. From the where shall not be named. But so I had a pack of Hercules cards. I was like, let me just grab one. I'll get him to sign it, and then whatever.
Yeah.
So I go up to get him to sign it. He charges like $40 for a signature.
Whoa.
And I was like, oh shit, I'm already here. And he was selling like little Hercules necklaces and shit. And so I was like, whatever, let me just spend some money at his table because, like, for one, I don't want him to be, like, you know, all negative and shit. But so I walk up, and then, again, there's no one at his damn table. And there's nobody at his table. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, you know, I had such a pleasant experience with Kerry Tagawa that I figured, well, you know, I'm charismatic enough. I can kind of just work my way through a conversation and maybe endear myself to him, and we'll just be buddies, right?
Yeah, you got a little bit of charisma.
And so I was like, okay, I rolled a 17. You know, it's not a 20, but I got it.
Yeah.
And so I'm talking to him. I walk up. Or no, I hadn't talked to him yet. I walked up, and I look at the table, and it's all these pictures of Hercules naturally with his shirt off. And so he's like, hey man, how can I help you? And I was like, well, I was trying to get one of these pics with your shirt off. Like that, right? Just like almost exactly like that.
Yeah.
And then he fucking I don't want to cuss, but he's like just straight up stonewalled me. He was like, and just stared at me like I'm stupid. And I'm like, you're selling all these pictures with your shirt off, man. Hercules wore like a vest in that show. You know what I mean? Like, where's all the pictures with you in your vest? You know, it's all shirtless.
Kevin Sorbo's trying to get girls too.
Exactly.
Just like Mike Mignola.
So Jen walks up with Penny, and she's like, oh my God, it's so nice to meet you, this, that. And he's like, what's your baby's name, you know? And what's your baby's name? And so Jen's like, you know, Penny, you know, gives her the name, and and he tells her, you know, we're big, I'm a big Beatle fan and this, that. And so he's like, oh, well, I met the Beatles. And we were like, where was the overlap? You know, I didn't see Ringo and Xena, you know?
Yeah.
And so he starts telling us this story about how he was at a nightclub and Paul McCartney walked in and his manager, that's right. Because he was, well, let me finish the part. So he goes, I was in this nightclub and I just signed for Andromeda. And I'm like, wasn't Andromeda like the biggest flop in the world, you know?
Oh my, you said you asked him that?
No, I'm thinking it.
Okay.
I wouldn't have said that. He probably could have beat me up. He's pretty tall.
Dude,
I'd be afraid that.
Especially if Eolus is there.
Yeah, dude. I asked him. I was like, dude, do you like hang out with Eolus? And he was like, not really.
Not really.
And I was like, that was like the coolest guy on the show, you know?
Yeah.
Besides
Immune
Xena.
to your charms, Caleb.
Yeah, I mean, again, I should have showed some cleavage.
Maybe.
So he started telling Jen, and he had shook her hand when he walked up, and so he started telling the story, and he goes, yeah, so that hand, my agent said, you know, I need to go over and talk to him because, you know, stars meet and mingle and stuff. And I'm like, Paul McCartney is a star. Kevin Sorbo has been in movies and TV shows, right? And so I'm not trying to be mean, and I still like Kevin Sorbo's work, you know, but it was funny because he goes, yeah, so that hand that you shook also shook a Beatles hand.
Whoa.
And then he said, It's also done a lot of other stuff too. And I,
What does that mean?
it's exactly right, dude. So me and Jen both are kind of like, just kind of laughing to ourselves.
Right.
And Jen's just kind of like, okay. And so we walk off.
He said that in front of your baby.
Yes. Well, Penny was like an infant. But,
Worse.
yeah. But what's funny is he was telling us about Andromeda. And, like, he was, like, justifying it. Because I was like, damn, dude, y'all should have done, like, 10 more seasons of Hercules. And he said, he goes, Andromeda, no, man, like, Gene Roddenberry's wife approached me. And, I mean, if Gene Roddenberry's wife approaches you, you're gonna talk to her. And I'm like,
Well, she's the voice of the computer in Star Trek.
Well, isn't that his wife, right?
Yeah.
That's what I just said.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, though, is whenever they made Andromeda, I guess he had already died.
Yeah.
And so it was something that she was putting together or somehow, but she approached him. And so they offered him... I hear footsteps.
It's fine.
She approached him to do Andromeda, and so that was the idea, was he wanted to do some Star Trek stuff. And I guess he thought there was going to be some overlap.
Yeah.
But there was not.
Before we move on to
Kevin
Nash's balls, which I imagine will be the climax of this episode.
Maybe.
Really, the only con I've been to was PAX South. I think it was in 2017 in January. It was basically like a few months before the Switch was coming out.
Yeah.
And the PAX cons those are like some of the the super mega cons. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So like Nintendo had this huge booth there where you could play the Switch. It wasn't even out yet. Capcom was there. They had, I think that was when Resident Evil 7 was coming out.
Gross.
They had a big booth. There was like an Overwatch tournament there. There was all kinds of tournaments going on.
You do have a really funny story from that convention, though.
Do I? I don't remember. What is it?
The poster?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay, now we got
listen to this. It's a really quick one, but it's really fun.
Okay, so PAX Penny Arcade Expo is put on by the guys from Penny Arcade, right? Gabe and Tycho.
Big Penny Arcade fans.
Yeah,
Team Triplehorn.
We're big Penny Arcade fans here at Team Triplehorn for sure. They decided to do a signing, and I had this book. I think you gave me the book, right? The Magic of Penny Arcade.
Yeah.
I got that book signed by Gabe and Tycho, and I also had bought a poster of Gabe and Tycho. I gave it to Bobby so she could get it signed.
Oh, okay.
So we're waiting in line, and we finally get to them. And for some reason, Bobby has them sign the back of the poster. Like, I had wanted to eventually, get it framed and, put it up in our house, but for some reason, she gets both of them to sign
That's
the back of it. And I remember,
Right?
Yeah.
and I remember I was ahead of Bobby, and I looked back, and I remember, I think it was Tycho was like, are you sure you want me to sign the back? And she was like, yeah.
Why? Did you tell her?
Yeah, later, and after that, I was like, why did you get him to sign the back, Bobby? And she was like, I didn't want them to write over the artwork.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, so I said just frame the signatures.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
a big ass poster of just their signatures would be
That's
This is
great.
the back of the poster.
Dude, whenever he
Yeah.
told me that, I was laughing so
That's
hard.
hilarious.
That's just like one of those like sweet, loving stories.
Yeah. I don't want
She
you
was
mess
trying to
it- yeah.
protect the poster.
PAX South isn't around anymore. They do the other PAXs, East and West, and PAX Australia, I think.
Why don't they do South anymore?
I
Was it
don't
COVID?
know. I think that might have been part of it, but
RealmsCon was
Yeah,
killed by
Probably the
COVID.
reason for a lot
it
of
just hasn't
things
come back.
going-
But
yeah.
if you ever have a chance to make it out to a PAX there, they're pretty solid. I also got a thing signed by Scott Kurtz, who makes PvP Online, a webcomic.
I'll be honest, dude. Like, I am conned out. I don't think I'll ever go to another one.
Con Talk.
Except for the one this July.
Boy, but that's Team Triplehorn business.
Yeah, that's
you know?
true. Wait, what are we going to be giving away? We're going to be trying to give away some T-shirts. We got some special
exclusive
limited edition
one-of-a-kind
T-shirts.
T-shirts.
Probably gonna be playing some games as well. Probably gonna shoot a couple of sketches.
We're going to definitely, if you come up to us at the booth, we're going to ask you to be in a sketch.
And you're gonna get slime.
We're going to have slime. Oh my God. We should take like a tub of slime, and then we'll hype it up like everyone's gonna get slimed at the convention.
Yeah.
And then when they show up, we just put a scoop on their shoulder.
And drop on their finger.
Be like just right on their shoulders, dude. Just straight up, just be like, yeah, it washes out. It washes out.
And it'll be this color.
Oh my god!
So it's gonna look great.
All right, let's hear about Kevin Nash's balls.
Okay, so we are pretty much done with the convention at this point.
It was the same one in Houston?
Same one.
Okay.
So we're doing. We just watched the burlesque show, and that was pretty cool.
Was it hot?
Kevin Nash was in it.
It was Lord of the Rings burlesque show.
Ooh.
Was there orcs in it?
I never heard this.
There was no orcs.
I didn't
was
know
it
that.
hobbits?
Yeah.
Was it elves? What
it was like
about?
they were redoing.
Was Aragorn stripping?
No.
We should do an orc burlesque show. Or burlesque.
It wasn't like they were redoing the characters. It was like they were dressed up like if they were in Lord of the Rings.
So they were just NPCs?
None of them were like, I'm Frodo, you know what I mean? They were just...
Commit.
Right.
Or get.
But, like, it was cool to watch.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
I didn't know what a burlesque show, like, entailed necessarily. And, like, it's just... it's not that exciting, but anyways,
that's probably why Kevin Nash was so let
down. So we wanted to have like a drink to end the night off before we ended up at the hotel again, and so we go to it was the Hilton lobby, and we were gonna have drinks there, and apparently everybody had the same idea, so everybody is there in their convention attire, their costumes and whatnot, and so I'm dressed up as Constantine, which I had been like mistaken for
Emperor
Castiel,
Constantine?
Castiel from Supernatural.
Oh yeah.
They kept asking me that over and over again, so I finally just started saying yes.
Okay.
And
everyone was like, "I love it. Can you take a picture?"
Yeah. They're like, "Your tie's backwards though. It's supposed to be." I was like, "I don't watch the show.
It's not accurate."
Yeah. And so, anyways, so we get to the bar, and I tell my friend Matt, who's dressed like the Flash, what kind of drink are we getting? And he was like, I don't know what to get. So I was like, you know what? I've never had a martini. I want to do the martini thing. James Bond, drink of choice. We're out together as a group. And so he's like, you know what? I'll do that too. So we're sitting there, and we're waiting on our other friend. I'll say his name, S. I don't know if he's going to be okay with me saying his name.
Okay.
But, so S is kind of, I guess at this point he's figuring out where we're at. He hasn't caught up with us yet. And so we're at the bar and we're texting him, and I am looking at the bartender when my other friend taps me on my shoulder, the Flash. He taps me on the shoulder and he goes, "Dude, I want you to turn around but not fast." Okay. And so I do one of these numbers, and I see this big hairy sack.
What?
And like the nuts are like hanging out of. He's wearing like those old bicycle shorts, and they're super flimsy and like sparkly red. And that's the only thing I could see out of the periphery of my eye. And I'm like, dude, that dude's balls are hanging out. And he's like, he takes a second glance and he's like, oh my God, they really are.
That's not what he was trying to show you?
That's not what he was trying to show me. And and he goes, but dude, do you see who the balls are attached to? And I was like, well, no, who is it? And he's like, that's heavyweight superstar Kevin Nash.
That's Diesel. That's Big Daddy Diesel.
And I was like,
Super
wait,
Shredder.
That's Kevin Nash? Yeah, that's exactly what that's what I said. And so I turn around and I was like, oh my God, it is Kevin Nash. And so I turn around to say hello to him, and I reach my hand out to give him,
He leans his pelvis forward. Like John Travolta.
So when I did that, my finger kind of got caught in the short a
little
little
bit.
My God. because his pelvis is super high up.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah. His pelvis is super high up on the stool. Remember I told you,
Dude,
he was sitting so awkward. He was like, I can't even do it. Like
he's like spilled into the chair.
He's like this kind of in a bar stool. It doesn't have a back. It's a bar stool. He's hanging back on his bodyguard.
Oh my god!
I guess maybe he had already had a few drinks.
How big is his bodyguard?
His bodyguard, funny enough, is like the same size as the Flash, and he's like 2 heads smaller than I am, right?
So Kevin Nash is his
So
bodyguard.
Kevin Nash shakes my hand, after the awkward, finger catch, right? And I was like, hey, man, I like your stuff. Super Shredder. Thanks for all that. And he goes, hey, man, I'm just trying to have a good night. Could y'all let me have a good night? And I was like, yeah, good night. And so I turn around, and Matt's like, dude, I got to shake his hand. And I was like, I think he's mad now. And so the bodyguard...
You called him Super Shredder. He's like, bro, I was the title holder.
Yeah. So the bodyguard walks up to us. He turns from where Kevin Nash was at, and he's like, hey, Kevin Nash would like for y'all to leave.
And I get that.
You should have said, I've been sitting right here, and he didn't say any
We're not
of that.
done with the martini, and I don't want to walk away with the glass. So that's kind of what's holding me up. Damn it, that chip from... Take over.
I wasn't there. At this point in the story, I'm probably just playing like MGO on the floor in my bedroom.
If I was trying to have, if I was trying to have a drink in a bar and someone is like, I need you to leave because this guy doesn't like you, I'd be like, forget that.
Yeah.
Even if it was Kevin
leaving.
Nash?
Even if it was Kevin Nash.
And there's bar stools around? You know what a chair shot is?
Well, the bodyguard walks up to us, tells us that. Steve...
NWO shows up in a second.
S walks in.
Why would he care if you said his name?
I don't know if he will or not, so...
Ah.
Because this is kind of a, it's one of those silly stories, And
well, Kevin Nash going to hunt him down.
So S walks in, sees the bodyguard talking to the Flash in like a way that's kind of like...
rude.
Yeah, And so
Antagonistic.
S is he's like a very defensive dude. He's like, hey, you're not going to mess with my buddy, So he comes up and grabs that guy from the shoulder. Well, this is Kevin Nash's bodyguard, And it was so funny because he grabs him by the shoulder and he goes, do we have a problem? And I was like, yes. No, dude, no. So I
from around the corner comes Sting and
No.
the legs of Luger.
No, he comes from the rafter.
And Conan.
So I figure things are starting to heat up. So I put the martini glass down and I noticed that the other martini glass is sitting there. But Flash has zoomed out of the lobby. He's gone.
He was cosplaying.
He's not going to deal with this confrontation, so he flashed out of there. And I grab S, in kind of like a hugging motion, and him and I leave, and he was like, so what was going on? And I was like, hey, that was Kevin Nash, dude. We were talking to Kevin Nash. His bodyguard got upset. He was like, I want to go meet Kevin Nash. And I was like, I don't think we can do that anymore.
I think we've exhausted.
Yeah, we've exhausted
our
Kevin Nash
tickets.
time. Yeah. So we ended up leaving, but it was just so hilarious. It's something we'd never forget because it was like we met Kevin Nash's balls, and then Kevin Nash afterwards. Because dude, like his sack was just hanging out, and they were huge.
He was at the WWE burlesque show.
That,
you missed that.
Oh yeah, that dude has nothing to worry about. They were gigantic.
So to wrap it up, I guess.
Yeah.
Cons, we're gonna be at the Comic Con in July here in Corpus.
So if y'all hear about it, look for us.
Be on the lookout for more information about our Patreon. You'll be seeing that at some point.
Also, thanks for joining us for Con Talk.
And if you're still watching, smash that subscribe button.
Your soul is mine.